All right, I'm just want to just say how proud I am of our players and how hard they played this past weekend and prepared well and fought their tails off and just got to continue to finish, stay the course, and keep getting better. We have a very, very great opportunity this weekend against a very good football team at home, and a lot of respect for Coach Fickle and what he's does as a coach. Faced him the last couple of years, and team plays really hard, very well coached, very talented football team. Elite running back, some elite receivers, big offensive linemen, big physical defense as you would always expect from them. Tackle well, really good linebackers, like their size up front, and they got some good cover guys too. So well coached, and his whole staff there does a really good job. So great opportunity for our program. We know where we are. We know what we need to do, and it's just a matter of just locking in, focusing to the finish line. So very important week for this program. Defensive Scout Team Player of the Week. We got two guys, Ray Stewart, Jeff Etzinger. Proud of those guys. The effort they continue to give to us is huge. Offensive Scouts of the Week, Max Williams and Reese Bellum. And then Special Team Scout of the Week, Connor Hull. So proud of our team, the way the guys have just keep being resilient and as a whole group continue to fight and battle and just continue to sharpen each other as we go against each other in practice, and whether the role is a scout guy or good on good, however that looks. So going to continue and look forward to this weekend. Questions?
Hey, Coach, you mentioned Wisconsin. For years, they were known for their offense, their power running game, kind of old school football. Fickle comes in, brings Phil Longo, air raid guy. What kind of differences have you seen in their scheme offensively and what they're trying to do?
Significant. I mean, it's completely different than it's been in the past. I mean, it was, 2 and 3 tight end sets, shifting and power and just downhill runs, play action off of that, that was, they still run the ball effectively and well and got an elite running back, and but just a different style without question. And Coach Longo's had a lot of success everywhere he's been, and so definitely different in the passing game significantly, and so just went out and brought in some receivers that have a lot of talent and more suited for that style of offense, and quarterbacks as well that fit that system. So they've done a good job of matching that up, what you need to do. And but yeah, it's really a completely different philosophy than they've had in the past, and so you kind of knew that obviously by who they hired and the direction they were going. So definitely creates new challenges for you. The throw game is very, very, vertical shots and reading and reacting to what you give them. They do a really good job of that, very well coached in regards to finding, as we call it, green grass, in your coverages and things that they do well. So, and then the RPO system is a big part of what they do and how they are able to set them up. And then they have a really, comprehensive run game. It's not, sometimes it's couple run plays and that's it, but they're way more complex than that. And so do a good job with that. So very well thought out. Really good system that I know they believe in.
Yeah, Tom, in regards to, you mentioned needing to finish Saturday's game better. When you looked back at it, was there anything you identified that maybe you wish you would have done differently as a coach, I guess, offensively or defensively in kind of those last 5 or so minutes? Yeah,
I mean, you think the last 3, and prior to the field, I answered the question and after the game, definitely you look at the first and second down. Like to be more aggressive there. The third down, I think, is definitely the right decision to make once you're in field goal range. You look at what happened before half. We threw an unfortunate interception right before half that cost us 3 points and gave us, it just could be a 6-point turnaround. We lost a chance to get 3, and that's obviously you want to make sure you don't do that in that third down situation. So that affects your thought process in some ways. But as we talked as a staff, those first couple downs or after the takeaway, you'd love to be able to. My comment on the headset, the office, hey, let's go score a touchdown. that was my whole thought process there. When we got the ball, that's what you want to do. And then when you get the third down, it's like, okay, we got to be smart with the football here. Just make sure we, whatever we call it, make sure we're smart and have a chance to kick a field goal to tie the game up at that point. And then defensively, we just got to make a play. We can't stay true to what we've been doing, and they're still trying to, game is tied, so they just need a field goal. So you can't just get in a different mode mentally. You got to be able to stop the run. They got 2 elite running backs that can hurt you. So didn't necessarily disagree with things there. You just got to make a play. We got to come up, and we played so well, especially that last quarter defensively, and we're doing a really good job, and getting them in 3rd and longs, and so just but got to finish, but proud of our guys, man. They fought so hard, and you go back and you look and you try to make adjustments from things that you do, but yeah, just that'd be my thoughts.
Tom, this is a little more out of left field, but obviously one of the bigger stories in the sport right now is what's happening up at Michigan. I know you played them, somewhat recently, and with all the talk of sign stealing and everything like that. Is that something that you were aware of, something that you encountered? And I guess do you have any thoughts on that situation?
Do I have any thoughts? Wow, yeah, that's loaded. No, I've been asked about it, different things. So I don't know about what's going on there. But I know there's a gamesmanship to in-game, signals. I mean, that's why you see all the contraptions, and we kind of laugh sometimes about all the stuff that we go into, and we got 3 different signalers wearing goofy-looking shirts and hats and all these different colors, and so that's the gamesmanship of it. So, and then there's there's different things that goes beyond that. That's different to me, So, but I don't know enough about it. There's no question. A lot of conversations going on by a lot of people that don't know a lot of things. But there's also an integrity of the game, and I just believe in that. I believe you do things the right way, and you got to be able to stand up and give account for how you operate as a man, and look yourself in the mirror and know you do things the right way. So I'm not saying it didn't. I don't know what's going on there, but I just want to say that we need to protect the integrity of the game. So that's my stance on that. I think that's important.
I'll try and follow that up a little bit, but asking about Wisconsin, looking ahead, you said that you've kind of found some building blocks offensively from the Penn State game that you kind of wanted to build off of. Looking at Wisconsin's defense, how can you kind of build off that foundation you set into Penn State?
Well, you look at what we were able to do, and against a really good defense, and we're playing another really good one this week, and so you got to be able to run the football, and we were able to do that, especially in the second half, in a very effective way, and we got to be able to, create explosive plays in the throw game. We were able to do that. And we got to build off of that. And the play of our quarterback, which is such a critical part of every offense, and his confidence and his growth and development is huge. And so just the way our receivers played, their confidence, I was so proud of those guys, and they made a lot of, some contested catches, and just did a great job. And just guys up front getting better up front. Our running backs are running hard, so just got to continue to build and grow off of those things, and continue to score more points. It's about that. It's about finding a way to get one more point than the opponent has on game day. So definitely a lot to build off of, and we're going to continue to focus on those things.
Yeah, I know, Jaylen Lucas has struggled with punt returns, but kind of overall in the offense, his touches are kind of been way down the last 3 weeks. Has it just been a kind of symptom of the offense looking for an identity with kind of the changeover, or do you need to kind of go back to try to get him involved in maybe some of the swing game, or what can you do for him?
Yeah, I just think that, unfortunately, we've muffed some punts, and there were several leading up to this one. And so just trying to get that fixed, that has to be fixed, so that will be being addressed. And so, but, I know obviously they're keying on him defensively and trying to take him out of the game in some ways. And so we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball in space. And that's never going to cease to be a priority, but I think as you grow and develop, obviously the other guys making plays will obviously help him, have his opportunities when he gets those to take full advantage of them and maximize those, and just to relax and play the game, and not try to have to hit a home run every time with that. So I think that he's a phenomenal player, phenomenal person, and I want to see him continue to, and I think we will. I know we will. That's going to always be a goal for us, to get him the ball in space and to do it in a creative way each week, So, but it's everybody doing their job, receivers, running backs, O-line, quarterbacks, tight ends, So he's just one of those pieces for sure.
Asking about, I guess, the impact of injuries. First of all, Brendan, everything kind of fine once he got through, coming out the next day, not feeling anything with the shoulder.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. Wisconsin, they've obviously got kind of a different look at quarterback with Mordecai out. Now Braylon Allen, I think his status is a little bit unclear. He was out in a walking boot in the second half Saturday. How much, especially when you talk about Coach Longo's offense and sort of how successful he's been with it, can you separate sort of preparing for the scheme from preparing for the players when maybe you do have, some pretty sort of core injury concerns on the other side, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think that the quarterback position would be the one that the change at quarterback. Since that's happened a few weeks ago, they've had, 8 with 18 playing. I think that you kind of see some of the adjustments, and so that would be, if that person's different, that would change things as much. The running back position as well, even though, Braylon Allen is a special running back, without question. He's 245 pounds. Most 245-pound people don't move the way he does, and he's elite. And so, we're expecting him to play. And so, but I don't know how much the scheme would change, based on who else would be in there. They have other talented running backs, So, but I do think the quarterback position is one where you got to be aware of who's the person in that spot and how that would affect, the way they call the game and per his skill set and his strengths and weaknesses, So, but obviously we, you got a system that we're playing here that's got a lot of history of great success, and so we just try to do everything we can do to make sure that we are fully prepared in every way possible to whatever we might see.
When you reflect on the QB process, really from fall camp to now, you have the alternating. You settle on Jackson, you alternate again to Michigan, you kind of settle again on Sorsby. The way that he played Saturday, I'm sure you're optimistic about that. Is there anything when you reflect on that process that you would change about the way that maybe the process went on as far as evaluating that throughout the fall? And then is there anything that maybe you would change if you're in a similar spot in the future?
And I've, gone through and reevaluated that. The thing I think you see, though, as the season's played itself out, you kind of see the dilemma that we were in. You have two guys that, had shown signs of doing some good things and also showed signs of being young, and so neither one really separated themselves through the process, which made it challenging to make that decision. And so to me, you need to resolve it, basically, figure it out during fall camp. Well, that's great, so it's just, you're not playing a real football game in fall camp, especially with the way college is structured. There's no exhibition games, there's no other than what you do in practice. So with that information, we just felt like that we needed to see them play. And so that played itself out, and then we made the decision we made, and then weren't getting the growth we wanted to get from that spot. And so then I felt like we needed to kind of, do what we did. And then now we're where we are. So you just want to see whoever takes over to take it and then just start growing and take the position and run with it, And I think we've seen these last few weeks the growth with Brendan. And so, but I continue to say we have two very talented quarterbacks that are young, and we just got to, I feel good about the progress he's making. I'm excited for his future and for Tavi's future as well.
Tom, over here. Your ability to keep the team able to play hard, to fight, to battle despite all the adversity and stuff. What is your approach to that? How are you able to do that, continue to do that despite, and obviously it seemed to pay off, certainly it paid off against Penn State.
Well, I think you just want to capture the hearts and minds of your players. That's my goal from day one with this team. When guys come here, it's the character of our players. I attribute it to the leadership of our team, the captains we have, the leaders we have on our team, our coaches on our staff, be an extension of the message that we send. But, I just think you have to appeal to the heart of a young man, his mindset, and I'm such a big believer that how powerful our minds are, and that we don't allow circumstances to dictate the way we approach every day. It's so easy to do that. We all do it. I think young people really struggle with it. We get older, we start have a little bit different perspective on things, but just teaching young people to be able to, your effort, your attention to detail, the way you approach every day should not be based upon outside circumstances, how you feel, whether we won or lost last week, whether the last play was in your favor or against you, and to teach them just to focus. And that sounds great. It's hard to do when things get hard and they stack against you. And so, but you just try to appeal to who they are and what motivates them. I talk so much about what's their identity. outside of being a football player, and because that's at the core of who you are as a person. And I build off of that. They had to articulate that to me throughout fall camp, and I draw back on those things and to try and help them work through the difficulties that I know they're going to face in football, and I know they're going to face in life. And as I tell our guys many times, man, life is really hard, and sometimes it's really unfair. And so football is an amazing teacher of life. And so I draw on that. I really do. We talk about that. We're very upfront about that. So, but the guys got to respond, and they got to meet them where they are and get them to understand that, man, they're developing qualities that are going to serve them well in this life. It's going to help them separate themselves in whatever they choose to do when they're done playing football. So that's part of the conversations we have. And then also you just find nuggets and words and phrases and different things to be able to capture them and connect with them and help them to stay locked in each week, as hard as that may be, to stay focused and keep fighting and playing hard for each other and for the people that have helped them get where they are. So it's a lot of things without question, but it really goes back to the culture you create, and the guys have bought into it. They believe in it, but man, we got to keep battling, and this is another opportunity to continue to shape that and form that. And so it's as hard as it is right now. We're just going to keep locking arms. We're going to just stay the course, and we're not going to grow weary in doing the little things right. And I believe we're going to be able to get a different outcome if we just stay the course.
This is kind of the other side of the same coin, but with self-inflicted wounds week after week, whether it be a muff punt or missing an assignment in the back of the end zone that leads to a touchdown. As a coaching staff, how do you guys work together to make sure that that frustration doesn't then get put on the players, that you guys keep things positive and constructive without, as a group, just getting so incredibly frustrated with the self-inflicted wounds?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great question, and to me, it's about us making sure we're doing everything we can do as coaches first. It's our responsibility to put them in the best position, and then if a young man is continuing to make some of those mistakes, then we got to, hey, are we doing something structurally to help him? Have we done enough of that? And if we have, and I mean, maybe we need to make a personnel change to put somebody else in that position to get that opportunity to be able to get a different outcome. So we're looking at all those different things, and there's no question. And that's it's on us, it's on me first, it's on our coaches, to be able to, for their areas of responsibility, because you're right, those are so frustrating, and then you do all that, and you still have a chance at the end to win a football game. And so you got those things just got to be eliminated. We just keep saying, if we can just do a good job of eliminating those self-inflicted wounds. I think it's a great way to describe them, and we call them CATs, crimes against the team. Things that we ourselves bring on ourselves. Those are things that is one of our goals, one of our 3 keys to winning football games, and so it's going to continue to be emphasized. There's no question about that. I believe in that, but obviously we're not doing a good enough job as coaches of getting that point across and getting the right guys in the right positions to help us finish those plays out. But yeah, it's a never-ending process, and this week is another quest to be able to eliminate those mistakes so we can have a different outcome on game day.
Yeah, Andre Carter played a lot more on the inside than he had all season against Penn State. Was that something you thought you could take advantage of? And has he gone kind of under the radar a little bit just because sack numbers aren't there, but he's been very disruptive? What are your kind of thoughts on his? Yeah, I mean, he plays so hard. And, I think we got to probably, take some of those reps off him so he can be, better at the end. And I want to continue to play him for sure. And, but obviously he's very disruptive. He cares a bunch, plays hard. Just got to continue to, bring guys along behind him so he doesn't have to play as many snaps. I think that's important on the defensive line in general, just to take some, hits off guys and help them be able to finish in the fourth quarter the way you want them to be. So, but just that whole unit, played really solid on game day this past weekend. I think you need to continue that. We got to continue to have more guys step up in those spots, and because it's about pressuring the quarterback, and that's. Every week, that's an emphasis. Did a really good job of that. Got 3 sacks on a team that only given up, 8 the whole season, and several more pressures. Thought we should have had a couple more sacks as well. So, but he's a huge part of that, and I appreciate him and how hard he plays.
Coach, I wanted to go back to Soares being kind of the quarterback process. You mentioned that you've seen some growth from him over the past couple of weeks that maybe wasn't apparent throughout the fall. I know part of it is probably game repetitions too, but what has he really shown you over these past couple of weeks that maybe wasn't there in the early decision process? Yeah, I think that even as you saw this game unfold, I thought the first couple throws were rushed, and I just think early in the process, he had not played. I mean, you go back and look at his
just number of snaps at the quarterback position, even back to high school, was not very extensive. Played another position, when he was a sophomore and early in his junior year, and then got injured his senior year, and so did not have a lot of rep base to really even evaluate. He hasn't played the position a long, long time, so didn't have a quarterback guy that he'd been working with since he was a kid, And so some guys have that, especially from the state of Texas, but just saw a guy that had a lot of upside, but also a lot of questions, and really probably that to be resolved in game when you're going to get hit. So that's what you don't really know. How you going to respond? Yeah, he's a physical guy, and he ran the ball in high school too, but how you going to respond when, you get the pressure in your face? And so I think that as he's gotten more of that, more opportunities just to be able to show the game day poise and confidence that you just don't know is there. And I think that's definitely something that you're seeing each week grow, and I think that will continue as well. And he knows he's got to continue. We got two guys still right there that are very, very close, and so he needs to continue to stay locked in and focused and keep executing and just keep growing. And I think there's no doubt that playing is the best way for him to gain that. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, Elio.